So how to get a crypto job as a community manager? The first thing you need to know is, who is a community manager? Why is community management relevant? Because I believe that the course, the one you took, did justice to the introduction, like what is crypto, what's crypto jobs, and why do we need crypto jobs? What are the other kinds of crypto jobs one can get? Down to the cover letters, the resumes, how to write a resume, how to apply, and all of that. So I'm going to focus on how to get the job as a community manager. We are getting into a time, or we are already in a time whereby it's not enough for you to know about something. What people are looking out for is results. So when you are trying to get a job with a particular skill, you should ask yourself, what are the results associated with this particular skill? What does success mean for this particular skill? When they employ me, what does success mean for the company when I deliver with this particular skill? Because trust me, in the past, it was very easy. It was very, very easy for you to enter a place as a complete novice, and then you learn through. But we're entering a time whereby the system, people are getting more aware, and you need to come in with more than just being a novice or more than just an idea. So that doesn't mean that getting into this space is hard. No. What it means is that the industry is now paying attention to how can you use your skill to bring results for us. And for some companies, they give you room to grow. They give you room to because every company is very unique. No matter how much you learned, no matter how much you've learned in the past, no matter how much you've applied, no matter how much results you've received, you need to apply that knowledge to that company that employed you in their own situation, to their own specific target audience, to their own specific objectives and visions and goals. So every company is unique with unique challenges, even though there are things that there are foundations. You should come with a foundational knowledge, which is what you're going to get this evening. So I'm going to try to make this the class very, very, very brief. So who is a community manager, and why is community why is a community manager very relevant? People are very, very relevant to the adoption of a project. Now, if I build a product, for example, now we're all listening to this class. We're all listening to this class with our smartphones. We're all listening with our smartphones. If I don't know what kind of phone you're using, but let me assume it's an Android phone. Let's say you're using a Redmi phone or a Samsung phone, and if you didn't buy that phone, that company will not make sales. So if there is a product and there is no community, the company that made the product will not make money. And the more, it's encouraged that when a company starts, they should start building a community so that they can build a product that a community will like. It's important that the project builds community first before they build a product. If not, if they build blindly, they might not have anyone. Their product might be amazing, but it will not be solving anybody's problem specifically. Because the point of making a product is that you are building for one person, so that people that are like that person will be able to buy that product or use that product, and it meets their needs and it solves their problems. So this is the reason why every project, every product needs a community, needs a loyal community, and that community needs to be built and managed. So when a company starts out, they need a community manager. This is one role that even robots cannot do completely. What robots do, robots assist the community manager, but they cannot take over the complete role. So a community manager is very relevant, both in the tech and the non-tech, both the code and no code parts of the blockchain system. And the first thing now in the crypto space now, generally across board, community managers are needed. But now we are being specific with the blockchain space, with the crypto space. We're being very, very specific. So what is the first thing you need as a crypto person, as a community manager? You need the knowledge, a basic understanding of the crypto space. When I say basic understanding, after you know about the blockchain, the basic understanding, you know about the crypto, and then you know basic about the Web3 space. For example, I know I did a brief introduction in the course, but let me just do a rundown. What is the blockchain? Why do we have it here? What is your role as a community manager there? So what's the basic knowledge that you need to seek? Crypto is a kind of money. In fact, it's money evolved. Money evolved from the money that you used to see. Your naira, paper naira, and it evolved into a money you cannot see, but it's still giving value because of what? Community adoption. Now, Bitcoin has value, crypto has value because people are using it. Now, if all of us had to abandon crypto, check every project that all of a sudden they went down. People rushed to abandon them and it lost value. So if all of us abandon Bitcoin and we don't see any value in it, it automatically lost its monetary value because there's nobody using it. So the adoption of this new kind of money is actually equal to the amount of persons who are aware of it and who are aware of what it can do. Now, people are adopting the crypto because of the intrinsic value that it offers. It has an intrinsic level of freedom, and crypto is borderless. One of the most important advantages of crypto is the fact that I'm in Nigeria, someone else is in Ukraine, my friend is in Jamaica, and we are still using the one Bitcoin. It's borderless, it's global. But imagine I have naira in Nigeria, my friend in Jamaica uses Jamaican dollar, and then someone else in Kenya uses the Kenya shillings. If I have to travel to Kenya, I need to convert my naira to dollar and then dollar to Kenya shillings. You see the process? But then crypto has made it possible that as we go forward, because I see our children and our children adopting even more crypto, and all these our wonderful currencies would not have to be like, it will be leading currencies. These paper currencies will not have to be second to crypto. So the community manager has a role in converting people that have become aware of a product into loyal customers, into loyal members of the community. Now, let me give another example. Let me paint another picture of a community manager. Look at the difference between a community manager and social media manager is social media makes you aware, tells you about a project, about events around the project. So you can come to a post on Instagram and you like the post, but that does not make you a user of the product. It does not make you a loyal member of the product. So, but if when you like the post, and there's another level whereby after liking the post, the level brings you into a community. Now, what are the platforms that we use for community building? We use platforms like Telegram, Discord. I'm going to give us insight about running telegrams and all this management platform. And then the latest one, the gaming app. So imagine if Instagram disappears tomorrow. Or let me use this popular guy. There's this popular guy on Instagram. All of a sudden one day, Instagram decided to shut down his account. And he already had over 200,000 followers. He had to create a new account, which grew back to more than 80,000 in just like a month because of loyal followers. Now, it was easy for him to gain back. He has not reached his 220 followers yet, but it was easy for him to get back to at least half of what it was. What took him 2 years to build, or several years to build, he was able to recover it in a free because of loyalty. Now, imagine if he had all of that 200,000 in a group on Telegram, on Discord, or on the gaming app. Imagine. It would have been very fast. All you had to do was, because people started wondering, what happened to him? What happened to him? Did something happen? All you had to do was just to go to the group and like, oh, see what happened to my Instagram account. I'm creating a new one. All of us just go back and like the Instagram account. And you can even recover the account in a day because everybody is in a community. So as a community manager, your role is to help convert fans to loyal customers. Because it's in a community that you even begin to understand what are the needs of what are the needs of people and how do you tailor the product to meet those needs. Now, this is the reason why community managers will always be relevant in the community. And in some projects, the community managers, they are always available in the community, just in case anybody has a problem, so they can immediately refer the person to customer support and it get resolved. So that's why in some projects they run shifts. They run 6 to 12, 12 to 6, 6 to 12. But somebody is always awake to make sure that the community is run successfully. So now, this is how relevant a community manager's role is. So now, if you want to, and it's one of the easiest roles in the crypto space to learn, because it's about people. It's about people, and it's really practical. So the next thing you need to do is, after you've understood what crypto is, then you need to now understand, okay, yeah, blockchain. Very basic understand, basic this thing. The next one is, now that we're getting into Web3, what does Web3 really means? What was Web2? And what was Web 1? Now, if any of you, I believe some of us were born, I don't know if some of us were born in around 1991, 1990s. That was like the era where we're getting gradually, 1994, 2000. I think a phone started coming to Nigeria around 2000. I remember back then, we used to using landline, and then all those first phones, Nokia 3310, Sagem, Triumph, and all of those phones. And then SIM card then was 50,000 naira. It was ridiculously expensive. Okay, it was expensive then. And now looking back, it was actually ridiculously expensive because of what it was very scarce. So the more common the SIM card became, the price started dropping. So around that period was Web 1. Because Web 1 was just a read-only. Before Web 1, it's like having a library. You are reading a book, but you can't interact with the book in a way that another person can come and change your action or interact in the same place that you've interacted in. You can't exchange. How will I put it now? The first set of websites that came out were just read only, just like pages. You can't like or share or do anything. But when Web 2 came in, with things like Facebook, Instagram, all of that. In the sense now, I can say hi. I can create communities. I can share a file. Things became shareable. That was one of the major features of Web 2. But the thing is that Web 2 is very centralized. We still have Web 2 today because we still have Facebook, we still have all these platforms. They created a platform where we can interact with each other. But you don't know that they are making money off your activities. So how does Facebook make money from what we do? You use Facebook for free. Of course, you spend your data. Now, Facebook sells your activities to people that do ads. Because when you want to run ad, you have to run ads to your target audience. So over time, Facebook have tracked the activities of people over time. So they can help an ad run better by when you make some certain choices in your ad and you run the ad, Facebook will now help you channel that ad to your target audience so that you can get the results of your advert. This is how Facebook became a billionaire on our head. I don't know if all of this I'm saying is making sense. So, but now we're now getting into Web3, whereby you can choose whether Facebook can make money off your head. You can now choose what information to give out. You can now choose whether to do your things in private. You can now choose what to do with your information. You can be in a community and nobody knows who you are. Because right now, there was a day I found out that I can, like, all my activities, including my bank activities, we are very visible on Facebook. Like, there's a place you see your app activities, and you see that last time, like, it's recording your activities in your bank app. Like, all my mobile bank apps were just there, open to the world. So, but now in Web3, it's going to be decentralized. It's now your choice. So, why am I giving this thing now? These are you need to understand this in simpler terms. That's why I like one of the things we do in Valucop is like we break complex things, we make them simpler. Because the more simpler things become, the more people can adopt them. So now, as a community manager now, when you've understood the basics of these things, you can now, next thing to do as if you're looking to get a job as a community manager now, you need to now ask yourself the question: how do I execute my activities as a community manager? That's why I recommend that you go to all these websites, Web3.career, Crypto Job List, even ourselves, as soon as our website is up, is back to normal, we are going to, you can easily access jobs from our website. We have a page for that. We'll start making all the updates, internship, ambassadorship, and all the job updates as we access it. So you can just easily go there and, apply to anyone. So, so when you go to all those websites now, you find out what are you going to do a little bit of research, to check all the community manager roles, and you see which of them, you check them to see what the companies are looking out for in a community manager. So you now know what skills should you adopt. They'll tell you, as a community manager, you should be very good with communication. That means you should be able to be, let's say, emotional intelligence. You should know that people in the community can provoke you. But that doesn't mean you should not respond and you start insulting the person in the community and all of that. You should have good communication skills. You should be able to respectfully respond to people in community. Then you should be able to know how to host events, host online events. That is all these Twitter Spaces, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. You should be able to know how to be a host of these events, because these are things that helps to grow a community. Now, one of the things, because remember what I said about the community manager converts the traffic that comes from social media, so that these people can stay and adopt a product. So the community manager works for some projects. The community manager is also a social media person. That's for projects that don't have a very large team. The community manager has to do the two works, both of them. But normally, they're separate jobs. The social media person keeps the social media accounts active and all of that. When people directs them to the community, when people come into the community manager makes sure that everybody in the community are updated. If the company produces a new feature about the product, Community manager makes sure that everybody in the community knows about it. Make sure that conversation is kept active in the community every time. That's why the community managers work in shifts, in different shifts, so that, of course, they have to sleep now. So that one person can be awake here, taking care of people's questions, making sure that that community is active. Because if the community is not active, it becomes boring and people start leaving. So you have to come up with what they call conversation starters. For example, you can have teams. You can hold community sessions. Community live sessions helps to grow communities. For example, it helps to grow communities. Now we have live sessions that can hold on Twitter Space, and then you use it and tell people that, hey, we have a community where you can share your problems, we can help you to handle them, and all those stuff. And then some products, their community is like a place where they can easily handle customer support. Like, instead of having all those other kind of customer support system, all those automated ones, depending on what the product is, because the kind of customer support system you set up is dependent on how large your audience is, and how large your audience is, and what kind of product or service you're offering. So you can hold, Telegram now has live feature. You can hold Telegram live. So you can invite people to join live, like the way we're doing it now. Like the way we are hosting a live session now. So we can put it out there. Hey, we're holding a live session and we want to teach so and so stuff. So you emphasize that, and then people, you don't drop the link, people join in and you hold live sessions. So because people want to teach, and then you can also hold activities, games, and all of that. All these are things to make the community active. I'm going to one of the things I'm going to do this weekend is to do a detailed, how I put it now, a more detailed. I have a course on community management on our website. I'm going to do an even more in-depth explanation about community management. I'm publishing the website. It's just a website that's just putting some spoke in my wheel, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be sorted. So, what's the next thing? Well, one of the reasons, again, why people grow their communities is because your community, the quality of your community is also equal to the quality of the amount of money you can make. If you have a product, you can easily, okay, now, I remember when I was in university, and I had this departmental mate. She was so very crazy about building her Instagram following. I didn't understand it. I was a bookworm, so I didn't get the whole social media crazy, being freaky about having 10,000 followers. And she had 10,000 followers, and we're just in the that was way back in 2015. This young lady had 10,000 Instagram followers, and I felt like she was serious, but she was not serious. She was very good with her studies. She used to read well. But she was also she wanted to go into media and all of that, acting and stuff. And I didn't understand the relevance of building your following until I graduated. When I graduated, I started reading about digital marketing, all those stuff, branding. When I went for service, that was all I was hearing. And I was like, wow, this thing was really important. That was around when I created my first Twitter account. I created my first Twitter account before 2017. But that was when I now created my Instagram account. I had my first Twitter account when I was an undergraduate. And I already had my first Facebook account around 2010. But that one was hacked. And then I now created another one in 2016. But I didn't see that there was money. I didn't see the monetary value of large crowd. But now, do you know today that if you have 10,000 followers on Twitter, people can pay you just to talk about their product? Finish. You earn $200, you earn $300. As an individual, projects can employ you as an influencer. Like, the potentials of money making just because you have a following is plenty. And I remember when a friend of mine wanted to publicize his book, and I had to go back to this friend that I thought she was wasting her time now. And we started talking and all of that. I had to tell her, like, okay, I have someone And she told me that a space to do a small advert for the person on Instagram was 70,000 naira. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, wow, 70K. Now imagine the brand ambassadorship that she's now doing. So what I'm saying is, there are tons of benefit of being a community manager. And there's a way to do it. Another thing that can help you, like I mentioned earlier, is robots. Now, what does bots do for you? Installing a robot is also not hard. I'm going to add that to the video, to the course I'm going to the whole package, how to set up a bot in a community, like Telegram or like Discord. If somebody joins a community, for example, if someone joins a community, let's say you were sleeping and you were not there to see when the person joined the community. A bot helps you to welcome the person. We integrated a bot recently in our community on Telegram. Like we have a larger community than this, of over 1K person on Telegram. So the bot automatically welcomes you, hi, mentions your name, and asks you, how are you doing? There's another bot that automatically, whenever you make a post on social media, it automatically informs the community that a post has been made on social media. Now, bots makes your life easier. This bot helps you to moderate. Their role is moderating. They help you to moderate the community, which is also part of. So for some projects, they have community moderators are different from community managers and very different from social media managers. But one person can do all that role, right? They can do all that role. But in a larger company, they can be individual, separate roles. So I've mentioned different things that, because after this, I would need you to send me a summary of what you heard from me today, so that I will be able to rate your understanding of the things I said. I'll be able to rate what you heard. And then you can drop your questions also. So being able to be a community manager. So after this course too, there's a room for you to practice this thing in our community. Like I tell people that come in for any of our courses, anything you learn from us, we run a hybrid system whereby you don't just take a course. There's a room for you to practice. There's a room for you to do an internship. There's a room for you to join the team, because this will give you a head start, so that when you now get there, you can say your experience came from Valucop. You were a community manager at Valucop, and becomes your first experience. But we can't just give it to you out like that. You must practice, and we'll see that okay, you learned, because practice shows how much of what you learned you know. It shows the level of your knowledge of what it is you've learned. So you have opportunity to practice with us. And then we're going to also help you to set up your resume for application and all of that, and then present you for opportunities. So this is like an introductory class to community management in the crypto job space. So where can you work as a community manager? I don't know if any of you saw. Okay, I didn't make that post, but I made a post a few days ago. On my LinkedIn handle yesterday and day before yesterday, because we have a space tomorrow, a Twitter space tomorrow, and Twitter space is about how to grow communities. So we're bringing in somebody who's a pro on that, and in tomorrow's live session, we want to teach our community how to do that and how you can get a job as a community manager. So make sure you join that space, because you are going to have somebody who is doing it live and who is doing the job and is paying him very well. So you learn from the person. Of course, the live is going to be very recorded. It's going to be recorded. So at this point, I don't know if any of us have a question. Is an introductory section tomorrow, organized session tomorrow, and then we're going to have a total of 4 sessions. A total of 4 sessions. So this is the first one, and 3 to go. So any question for me?
To www.valucopglobal.com to get started.